much on social media side of things. But we've got Andrew Tate, who's been arrested. And I'm not going to run through the story. I think everybody knows they while they investigate, they're keeping him in jail for 30 days at least, and that can be extended. And in order to do that, you have to have some pretty damning evidence against them, because if they're wrong about this, the authorities, he will sue that country for everything it's worth, and they know that, and end up winning. They think they're right and that they've got something. I'm interested to hear what you have to say first, Cade, and then I will, speak to you about it. What are your feelings on this? Because you're the guy who mentioned Andrew Tate to me before I even knew him, right?
Yeah.
And since then, I've watched a lot of his content. I have my own views on it, but I'm very interested to hear what your views are.
I just don't buy it, bro. Like, the second he got arrested, like 10 hours later, he's tweeting again, and I was like, bro, what are you like? It seems like even if he's going to be sitting in jail, he's going to be sitting in a penthouse of a jail, and I just
Either way, you don't buy that this is legitimate.
I just don't buy it's legit. It's just weird, like, especially because he called it on a bunch of shows and was like, I'm gonna get arrested soon because they can't handle what I'm saying. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? They're not gonna arrest you because you say a bunch of nonsense on Twitter. I was like, they don't care. They're not. I mean, they care, but they're not going to arrest you for that. That's inconceivable. And then he gets arrested for these things that have been debated, I guess, about how he made all his money. And now there's some allegations that have in the last 24 hours actually that have changed my mind a little bit, because there's been some information that I didn't really know about, which was that he essentially so for people who don't, just 20-second background check on him. He made a ton of money, like millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, by essentially being a manager for OnlyFans, for like girls' accounts, right? But before OnlyFans was a thing, this is a long time ago. It's cam girls. So he basically recruits his cam girls, says, hey, you're going to make $2,000 a month, but if you work with me, you're going to make $5,000 a month. Because I know what I'm doing. You're going to put all this content out, no one's going to see it, blah, blah, blah. You're going to waste all your money. So he recruits these girls, says, okay, we're going to pay, I'm going to take this much. You're going to make this much, but you're going to be working under me. So it's essentially like a legal pimp, right? The reason that he's getting arrested, part of the reason is because they're like, okay, he actually lied. He actually got these girls, recruited them, told them all these things. I'm gonna make you rich. I'm gonna like live with you in this house. It's gonna be beautiful. Like, we're gonna work together every day. And then they get there and they're like, actually, you're not gonna live with me. You're gonna live with this dude who picked you up from the airport. You're gonna do this 12 hours a day. You're gonna give me 75%, not 20. Like, all these things came out. Basically, he was like, these girls get there and it's nothing like he said. And it's one of those things that he sold them on a dream and then fucked them over as a typical e-com guy, right? That's the new allegations. When if that's the case, now I'm like, okay, if that's what one of the main things we're rolling with, this I could believe is real. It's just weird timing. But now I'm very interested. So the beginning when I said I don't buy it, that's a little bit changed in the last 24 hours.
Look, I know nothing. I can tell you two things. He's either done wrong and is going to pay a price, or he hasn't done wrong, and the system, like he says, the matrix, was to shut him down because he's having an influence on our working class guys that the government just want to keep in line. Those are the two options.
He's not going to jail. He's too rich. He's too rich to go to prison. He's not going to prison.
I don't know. These are serious allegations. I mean, you've got Bill Cosby still sitting in jail. You've got Harvey Weinstein in jail. There's a lot of powerful rich people, and you're going to have Sam Bankman-Fried sitting in jail.
But he's arrested in Romania. He's arrested in Romania, Phil.
It doesn't matter. There's still a law, bro. I mean, I live in South Africa, and we have one of the strongest constitutions in the world. People hear South Africa, and they think that I've got lions running around on the streets, and they see pictures of the townships. They don't see pictures of the suburbs.
Yeah.
I'm saying that we are known to have some of the strongest constitution in the world, and we've also got one of the best banking systems in the world. Yes, we don't have electricity. Yes, we don't have water. Right? We've got a lot of problems. We've got huge corruption in government. Fine, yes, but there are certain things. I don't know enough about Romania to know whether it's right or wrong. All I'm saying is that can't factor into whether he's going to do it. What sort of coincided with this was he had a bit of a war with Greta Thunberg, who Trump famously had a bit of a war with on Twitter. What I do think is important in this coverage, and again, I know nothing, is to say that you started saying that he called this. What if he knew about this? Obviously he knew if he did something, and what if he knew that they were investigating him, and if all the social media stuff that he's been building up in the last couple of months and years was to try and build a defense, and say, "Oh, look, I told you they were going to come after me because I'm empowering men, and they knew this is. I told you this was going to happen." What if this was all perfectly orchestrated, especially because he knew that this was coming up? I'm not saying it is. I'm saying what if,
Well, you're kind of, yeah, it was. I mean, it's piggybacking off the idea that they're corrupt as fuck. And we've heard him on multiple occasions say the reason he lives in Romania is because he can get away with stuff. He's like, I can pay people to not bust me for something. He goes, if I get pulled over, I can just pay them not to give me a ticket or whatever. And because of that, I do believe that he's got power in this. And I do believe what you just said is possible, where he maybe knew about these allegations because they're corrupt police, and he's got people and friends because he's so unbelievably rich. I think it's very possible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Ziggy's saying here, I don't believe any of these allegations are real. He's a smart, rich guy. He doesn't need to human traffic. Why aren't they going after Epstein's
Wait,
list if they care so
Ziggy,
much about
he
trafficking?
got rich.
So,
He got rich because of
yeah,
this. Not
off
he was rich.
off
He
the
wasn't
side.
rich before.
Yeah, so I remember in an interview, it was either with the Full Send guys or another, or David Bar David. What's that big YouTuber?
I know you're
The
talking
older
about.
guy, huh?
He's a red pill. He's one of those red pill YouTubers. I don't remember his name.
Bar David.
Yeah,
He's a
I know you're
great.
talking about.
Okay, so there was another interview with him where he spoke openly about what he was doing there, or what we think is openly, and that could also be a part of a whole defense that he's trying to put up. So he was saying that they knew very well that they were doing what they were doing, and that actually he was. They were the ones answering the messages, because men know how men think, and they made those girls rich. I did see what you were mentioning today also. The one part you left out is he actually got these ladies, allegedly, from this article, and I know nothing. He allegedly got these ladies to come there on the pretense of a relationship with him, maybe knowing that it would be an open relationship, like he talks about openly, and whatever, but a relationship. And then when they got there, oh no, actually you're not staying with him, but you're staying with him, but it's still a relationship. Oh no, it's not really a relationship, but inside. And slowly, so got them to come change their whole lives for him, thinking they were in love, or he was in love with them. And then slowly, once they're there, oh no, it's just a job, and whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. I don't know if that
Yep.
constitutes human trafficking. I don't know if that happened. All I know is that it's interesting to see, and it's interesting to watch what happens
I think
next.
if he gets busted, it's going to be one of those where he serves. If he does serve at all, it'll be a fucking tiny sentence. They'll get him on a bunch of stupid charges that are not as big
No,
of a
these are
deal
serious.
as.
These are serious
Well, I know he was
charges.
getting charged, but I don't think he's going to go. I don't think they're going to win the case on any of the big things. I just don't see a world where he goes put away, dude. I just don't. Not in a Romanian government system. Like maybe in
No,
America,
I don't
but in a
agree.
world where he said on multiple occasions, "I live here because I can pay people off." He's literally said, "That's why I live in the East. Like that's why I'm here in Romania. If something goes wrong, I can just pay them off." Because you can't do that in America. You get pulled over, you get arrested for bribing. He goes, "I can
Yeah,
bribe here,
there's
no."
this. Fine. So bribery is not a big thing in Romania, but human trafficking apparently is. So much so that they're holding him without charges, without official charges, for the next 30 days while they investigate,
Mhm.
which puts them at huge risk of being sued for a huge amount of money if they don't have a
That's what I'm
proper
saying. So
case.
if it goes under and they don't get him for
But they
trafficking,
think that they have enough of a case to
oh,
to do this,
but if they
to
don't,
hold
what are
him
they
for
going to bust
30
you? What are
days.
they going to do? They hold him for 30 days. It doesn't work because, like, okay, we can't say this happens. Say they
They
can't
can
prove him
still
for
hold
human
him.
trafficking. What are they going to charge him with that's going to be any relevant? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if that doesn't go through, then they're like, okay, well, fuck. Like that's
Well,
where I
tax
just think
tax
it's going to fall that
invade
way.
tax a huge tax evasion. Allegedly, he was rich before because he ran the webcam studio in England. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
The
that's
the
how he got
the
his money, though.
kickboxing thing, but the kickboxing thing, Ziggy, he never made money off that. He's
Yeah,
he's been open to the fact that he never made money off that kickboxing thing at all.
yeah.
But the webcam studio made him, but not rich to this level. I'm sorry, not rich
No,
to
no, no. No,
the
that is how he got rich,
the
though. But we're
webcam
saying it's the
studio
same
didn't make
thing.
him rich to the Lambo level. The
It
Lambo
made him
level was
enough
recently.
rich. No.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yes, because the university, the Hustlers University, but he also did make hundreds of millions from the studio thing. But Ziggy, you're missing what we're saying here. We're saying that webcam studio that you're saying he got rich off of, that is what he's being investigated for. The girls he made money off from the webcam setup that you just said is the thing he's being charged with. That's how he got his money. He became rich because of that. That's why they're charging him. So I think there's a little bit of a, like, I don't know. I feel like you're skipping over something. Like, we're talking about that. That's how he made his money, though. He didn't get rich before
But
that.
look, I mean,
He was rich because of these girls.
it's if you want to set up OnlyFans type thing where I can call a number, that's completely legal.
Yeah,
And yes, it's unsavory, right? I mean, it's not something you're going to tell your grandmother you do
sure.
necessarily, unless she's a MILF or whatever. But unless your grandmother's into kicky stuff, right? You're not going to tell her. Like I wouldn't. I don't have any grandmothers, but I wouldn't tell my late grandmother if I was doing that. That's something you're proud of, right? Sort of like NFTs the last couple of months until we turned around a bit. You don't want to really tell people about
Yeah.
it. So it's not that. It's more about how you got in there. Again, it's all allegedly. It could be completely like he says. The Matrix is trying to frame him, and in the end, because he's getting too loud and he's making young men think about, do they want to be a workhorse for the rest of their life? Could be all of that, could not. Another one that we'll keep an eye